our style of play, our habits. Not anywhere in shape or mentally or physically to play a game, but you don't have to be at this point in time. But the great thing now is we have some things on video. We'll go back now, we'll work to correct it. For us, we just have to continue to get better as a football team. But again, a lot of corrections. I didn't think our timing was very good in our throw game, but that's, I think, a byproduct of getting out here for the first time, and the speed of the game changes. I really thought our defensive ends did some good things coming off the football, but all in all, I thought it was a good first day, but we have a long way to go.
What you talked about?
They were in better shape than your first 3 camps.
I thought we've been in shape, every time going to camp, but it's a different shape. When you get out here and you start performing, football skills at this intensity, at this level, what we demand and require in our practice, that you are going to get winded a little bit and wear down, but that's where that mental toughness, that T-tough that we talk about, has to kick in. And those are all learning experiences. If these players continue and are willing to be coached and coach each other and do what they've done, we'll be fine with it. But I thought we were in good shape, but again, it's hard to simulate being in football shape.
Do you think this is the best start you've had under your tenure here, best day one?
I haven't really thought of it like that. Obviously the team changes, the maturity changes, the talent level changes. I would just say it was probably a typical first day, all relative to the talent. But again, we have to continue to improve our habits, our style of play, fundamentals. You can tell what individuals have been here and been through spring ball, which individuals, were going through their first practice as well. But, there's so many moving parts and pieces, from transitions to fundamentals to, having a teach period, then being able to flip the switch and go into a full 11-on-11 drill with the intensity that's required, and that will come with time. But I do think it was a good start.
Which I asked Derek about the trust that you cited earlier today, and he said guys are more comfortable correcting each other on the field. Did you see signs of that today?
I did, but we need more. That's part of being a veteran, mature football team, and I see it more at some position groups other than others, and we'll challenge those position groups to be more vocal with each other and hold each other accountable. And when you coach each other and in your walkthroughs tell you a lot about the makeup of your football team from a confidence standpoint, from the way they communicate. So we'll continue to point those out. We're even filming our walkthroughs and evaluating our communication as a team on offense and defense. So we have to continue to get better, but that's the best that it's been.
What do you learn about a player, the way he responds to a peer critique or a peer correction?
Well, you learn a lot. First of all, you learn respect. You learn self-confidence, and that's the hardest thing about coaching, is because you're coaching and you're critiquing. And, whether you're a coach or whether you're a player, and I think it's being able to take the constructive teaching that's required. And our players have done a great job with that. They've come a long way, and they welcome that. They want that. Our newcomers, they want that. And when you have individuals like a Derek Barnett, like a Jalen Reeves-Maben, like a Josh Dobbs, a Cam Sutton, a Jalen Hurd, an Alvin Kamara, they've proven over time that they can walk the walk. So when they correct you, that should mean something to the younger players. And more so than anything, I've had a lot of younger players come up to me and say, Coach, I had a Jarrett Garantano came up to me the other day and said, Derek Barnett corrected me. He spoke to me. He goes, Coach, you don't know how much that meant to me. So these young players are welcoming that.
Butch earlier today talked about being more explosive. Was that evident out here today, or is it too early to tell?
It's too early to tell, but I did think we were a little bit quicker and faster as a football team. But again, it's the football endurance, both mentally and physically. But I'll continue to see that as camp goes on. And for us, we have to continue to do a great job in the weight room. We have some individuals that are now back from recovery, but they need this time in the weight room as well to get up to the playing strength that's going to be needed.
Butch, there's so much anticipation, excitement for day one. What's the key to getting settled into the grind now? What do you need from your team to get settled in?
Well, first of all, I think in practice one, everyone is excited, from coaches to players, but having a workmanlike approach. And, a lot of times you can wear a team out in practice 1 and 2 in helmets just because you're so excited. But also I think practice in 1 and 2 are critical in the evolution of your football team, because you are creating your habits right from the get-go. You're creating your style of play, how you take the field, your transitions, your communication, your leadership, in the fine details, the fundamentals. So I do think 1 and 2 are very important, and obviously you translate into shells, helmets, and shoulder pads, but you still can learn a lot. We'll know more when the pads go on. But again, it's making sure that we correct the small details. Tomorrow is going to be critical that we correct the mistakes from today and moving on.
Just because of the numbers you guys have, there's a good chance you're probably going to be a newcomer to contributor wide receiver pretty much immediately. What are you going to be looking for as you evaluate those guys? What's going to be really important to you, I guess, as you decide, who you're going to play?
Consistency and performance, knowledge of the offense, but taking care of the football. If you look at a lot of times with younger skilled players, some of the things that keep them out of playing early is ball security. So being able to take care of the football, understanding their assignments, making sure that we don't put a lot on them. There's sometimes, if you look at the maturation phase of players, and as coaches, we got to keep everything in perspective, that a young individual may not be ready to play in games 1 or 2, but by game 4 and game 5, he's ready to go. You look at Antonio Brown, he barely played his first game as a college football player. And then all of a sudden he grew into that role. Well, it's the same thing, is we just have to continue to get them better, each and every day.
What are you looking for?
Last question.
At this point?
Same thing, level of consistency, the ability obviously to protect the passer, but just a level of consistency. And the great thing is our tackles are going to be challenged with the speed that we have coming off the edge. And so to me, that's great. And we have to do a great job of manufacturing those one-on-one situations. And it's just not in the offensive and defensive lines, but if I'm a wide receiver, I want to go against Cam Sutton every single day to get better. So we have to do a great job of manufacturing those one-on-one matchups throughout the course of practice.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for